whole perverted empire that he established. First off, he came from an abusive home in a small town in Missouri, and statistics and psychologists have both proved that children who come from an abused home often go on to be abusers or just outright violent adults. So as I was reading through a couple articles and biographies about him, there was like 3 things that were not like, they just struck my eye. The first one was he hired his own mom to work in Disney, which isn't that unusual, but he hired her as his own maid, which is kind of a little like, I don't think any mother who's like raised a 40-year-old man really wants to continue picking up for him. The second was he demanded that all child actors called him Uncle Walt instead of Mr. Disney or Walt, which I mean, you all kind of learned from Law & Order SVU that there's always some kind of creepy uncle that creeps into somebody's bedroom in the middle of the night. So Uncle Walt, already a sketchy character already. And then the third one, which was really big, was that people who worked for him said that at least once a week, and sometimes even more, he requested that his genitals be packed with ice for like 2 hours a day, which I mean, I don't know if he was trying to like castrate himself or what was going on there, but I don't think, that's just outright weird. And then, what's also unusual is he was married twice, and with his second wife, he had 2 beautiful children. They lived in a huge mansion in Beverly Hills, but he saw his family once every 3 weeks, and he had an apartment in Los Angeles that no one knew about, and it was rumored to be where he met up with gay prostitutes, and he had a house on Disney, underground. So he didn't go home. I think he did not go home because he wasn't attracted to his wife, and he was worried that he might not be able to restrain against the temptations he felt against his children, which is exactly where Bobby Driscoll comes into play. Bobby was described as handsome and intelligent, and he was predicted to be one of the best child actors of his generation. So why was he addicted to heroin and a convicted felon at the age of 17 who would later go on to die in his late 20s? It's because he used the high he got of heroin to try to forget something that happened in his childhood, and he tried to forget being molested by Walt Disney. And he was quoted saying, Disney dropped me like garbage when I was a little child and no longer appealed to Uncle Walt. And Jane Wyman, who was an actor in the mid-1900s, also was quoted saying, there's something strange going on between Walt and Bobby, something that's been hushed and something that needs to be investigated. And usually the word investigated is not used unless police are going to be involved in it, so some little sketchy was going on. And these aren't rumors that are just happening now. Like, these were both written in the time where Walt was alive, and this was right after Bobby Driscoll's death, and you can't really see it, but that's about Walt. And then, kind of speaks for itself right there. And then, but not only was he a perverted man himself, he created a perverted empire. Like, here's Minnie and Mickey Mouse, we've all grown up with them, and actually Mickey he was supposed to resemble Walt, but then, you take a closer look at Minnie's dress, and that's not exactly a dress anymore, Secondly, The Little Mermaid, we've all seen this movie, and right in the middle of just the cover of the movie is a flaming phallic symbol, like, right there, and you can't even really cover that up, this doesn't even match the architecture, really. If there's a zoom in over there. That's Jessica Rabbit's from Framing Mr. Rogers, or that kind of
Framing Roger.
Roger Williams. That's a crotch shot. What's his name?
Roger.
Okay. That's like a crotch shot right there. There's no way around that. And I'm sure that it was not essential to the plot line. That's just, a crotch shot. That's just not wearing anything. That's kind of weird. And then this is a pretty famous one. That's the sex. Wait, go back. Oh, wait. I think I know. There's the S, the X.
Oh.
So, The Lion King, we've all seen that movie too. Whoever did that, pretty creative with the sun going into the lion, but then, just stare at the nose for 5 seconds. I hope out there. Yeah. It's not really a face anymore. Oh, okay, this one's a good one. Hannah Montana, I've been alive for 17 years, and I don't think I've ever, with all the chemicals that we have these days, you would think that we can make anything blue, we can make anything pink. Why would they choose skin-colored guitars? And why would they shape a guitar like this? This is marketed to children. This is marketed to little girls, and they're putting that in their mouths, so that's pretty suggestive. I don't really miss say it. And then that is just outright. We all were in 5th grade. We all had to talk. We all know what that is. That's not like a little thing in his pants that just pops up every once in a while. It's not like a lizard. That's aggression. Oh, and this one's really good. This was patented by Disney and was distributed around America as a ride. But ducks don't float like that. I've never seen a duck floating on its back. And I've never seen a duck swim like that. So why did they design a ride where a child would sit on the crotch and then the ride goes like that? That's like pretty suggestive of a sexual act. This was taken at Disneyland, and from what I learned about mermaids is they don't have legs, and she's showing quite a bit of leg right there if you just kind of look at that. And I've also seen more clothes on strippers, because that's what the shells, that's not how this was. She's standing next to Cinderella, and she's a stripper. Like, children are taking pictures of that. And this is April Magaloon, who is a simple hair extension stylist living outside in the suburbs of Philadelphia. She went to Disneyland with her 3 kids and her fiance, hoping to leave with some great memories of Disneyland, but she left with the terrors of Donald Duck, as she was molested by him and groped. And there was a lawsuit. She sued Disney for $50,000, and it started in a local court in Pittsburgh and then moved to a federal court in Philadelphia, and she actually won. So Donald Duck, we first saw the ride, now he's groping people, so all that. And this is Bob Iger. He was born in 1951, and Walt Disney was born in 1901, exactly 50 years apart, both ending in 1. They both have 2 kids, they've both been married twice, and they both have black hair, so a lot of similarities there. And we're hoping that he'll put an end to the perverted empire, seeing as he was just alive dead last year. So we'll see what happens, but we hope that the perverted empire does not continue.